Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about how to practice self-love. Self-love is one of those things that will literally change your life because it will allow you to provide a ton of things for yourself that you would otherwise try to outsource and obtain from other people, thus creating unhealthy relationships and unhealthy friendships. So, in this video, I'll share with you a few tips that will hopefully help you start practicing self-love in your own life. So the first thing is start treating yourself the way you would a best friend. Literally think about how you treat your best friends. Are you supportive of them? Are you kind to them? Do you cheer for them? Do you try to help them obtain their goals and dreams? Are you there for them through thick and thin? Start doing all those things for yourself. Literally up here, the way that you think. Start thinking in those ways where you start acting or treating yourself the way you would a best friend, but with your thoughts in your head. So when you have those moments of self-doubt and you hear that negative voice saying, oh, you can't do that, you don't have the skill set, or you're not good enough, have another voice chime in and say, hey, that's not true. You are good enough, and you have more than what it takes to learn the skills that you need to be able to do this. You can do it. You just need to believe in yourself and start getting started. When you start practicing that, when you start having those thoughts, that best friend in your own head, it's life-changing because it starts developing you to a place where nothing will be able to stop you because you'll be able to support yourself and cheer for yourself when going after your goals and dreams in life. I mean, I can't tell you how powerful it is. This is one of the things that has changed my life the most because I'm in that place with myself now. I've literally had moments where I'll have a thought of self-doubt where I will think, oh, that seems really tough. I don't know if I can do that. And then immediately afterwards, I don't even do it purposely anymore. I've just trained myself that it happens naturally. I'll immediately have another voice in my head say, that's not true, man. You've done all these other things in your life. You've already proven to yourself that you can handle similar situations. So I'm pretty sure you have what it takes to do this. And that's the power of practicing this. The more that you do it, you will have to think about it and focus about it, or focus on it at first, because it doesn't come naturally. But the more you do it, it will become ingrained in you. It'll just happen naturally. You won't even really have to focus on it anymore. It'll just be a part of your life. And once you're at that place, it is so incredibly powerful. It's just an incredible thing. So I would highly urge everyone to start treating yourself the way you would a best friend. Now this also means be kinder to yourself. So try not to bash yourself or try not to doubt yourself as much. Because there are cases where those thoughts are our own. They're literally us being trained by society and other people to doubt ourselves. But quite often you will find that once you've worked on yourself a ton, you'll notice that that negative voice in your head isn't actually your own. It's something that society kind of ingrained in you, that you learned while growing up via the education system, or maybe you had some unsupportive teachers or unsupportive friends growing up, or maybe even unsupportive parents. And because of that, we'll kind of ingrain that negative voice that we would hear from them, and we'll put it in our own heads and think that it's our own voice, but it isn't, because you wouldn't have had those thoughts if not for all those unsupported people in your life growing up. So it was actually trained in you. It's not something you were born with. So knowing that, you can reject that voice and say, hey, you're not even my own. You're something that society kind of smashed into my head, and I would not have you there if not for them, so I'm just going to flat out reject you because you don't serve me and you literally aren't my own creation. You were created by outside sources. So that's another helpful mindset to think about when you're trying to treat yourself with more kindness. Just think of that negative voice as not even being yours, because it very likely isn't. So reject it as much as possible. But another very powerful thing here is start getting to a place where you know yourself incredibly well. I know this doesn't immediately seem like it's tied into self-love, but an interesting thing happens the more that you get to know yourself. For one, it'll help you develop your self-worth because you'll literally know what you bring to the table. You'll know all of your personality traits that make you different from everyone else. You'll know your skills that make you different. You'll basically know what sets you apart from the crowd, and with that, you develop self-worth. You'll know what you bring to the table. But also, the more you know yourself, it becomes easier to accept yourself, to love yourself for who you are, flaws and all. And this is a very powerful thing because so many people can't accept themselves. they don't like the fact that they're imperfect beings, and they fail to realize that everybody else out there is imperfect as well. There isn't a single person on this planet who is perfect. I'm not perfect, even though I'm making these videos trying to help you. I know all my flaws. I am not a perfect person. Other people out there who are awesome, nobody is perfect. The Rock isn't perfect, and I can't think of this one actor's name, but a bunch of people love him. Nobody is perfect out there. So don't get caught up in thinking that you need to be perfect as well. So be willing to know your flaws and accept them as part of you. Practice knowing your worth. What worked for me was literally a daily practice I used to do years ago, where I would meditate or even just take time to think about the question, who am I? Literally just thinking about all the qualities that you have that make you who you are. All the adjectives that would describe you. Are you confident? Are you kind? Are you grounded? Are you a good person? Just naming off all the things that make you who you are. And even the things that aren't quite as great, your flaws, but you just want to get to a place where you know that they're there and you accept them. You're not trying to act like they don't exist or being upset that they are there, because, I mean, all of us have flaws. So you want to get to that place where you can just let them go and realize that they're a thing that you'll have your whole life and you can work on them. So that is a good thing. You are able to make them less big than they would normally be if you never worked on them. But in some cases, it is very difficult to completely annihilate them. But you can definitely take time to chip away at them. But anyway, so practice that habit of asking yourself, who am I? And being honest with yourself. And do it as much as possible, because the more you get to know yourself, it's just so much easier for accepting yourself and loving yourself for who you are. Because you'll really know yourself. And the more you know yourself, it just makes that so much easier. It's kind of like the more you get to know someone you're romantically interested in, the more you probably will like them. Because you're learning all these different aspects about them and what makes them unique. And that just makes you fall more in love with them. So the same thing kind of works for yourself, although it's not quite falling in love in that romantic way. It's more just being willing to love yourself for who you are, because you know everything that you are. You know everything about yourself, and it's a powerful thing. So that's another really great practice. But at the end of the day, you just want to get to that place where you can fully accept yourself and love yourself for who you are. And a really powerful thing that will help is starting to enjoy your own company. This is a powerful part of self-love, and it pretty much falls into self-care as well, where the more you're able to do things in your own company that you enjoy, the more you're able to create your own happiness from within. And that is an incredibly powerful life tool to have, because it means you're not going to be outsourcing your happiness to other people, especially in romantic relationships. So many people place all of their happiness on their partner. And that's a really unhealthy thing to do, because not only is it unfair to your partner, you're putting all this pressure on them, trying to derive all your happiness from them, but it also means that if they happen to leave your life for whatever reason, breaking up with you or whatever else could happen in life, then you're going to be devastated, because they were the source of your happiness, all of your happiness, and now they're gone. So getting to a place where you're able to create your happiness and drive it from within is super powerful. And you can literally do that by just doing what you love on your own. Not waiting to have friends to do them with you or having your romantic partner around to do it with you. Just doing those things on your own. Getting to a place where there aren't any excuses to stop you from doing the things that you enjoy. Because so many people want to have others with them when doing certain activities that they can easily do on their own. And it's just a bad place to be, because then you're always putting off your happiness until you have other people, company with you that can do those activities with you. But unless the activity is literally like a team situation where you have to have other people with you, you can very likely do it yourself. So be willing to go to the movies on your own. Be willing to eat at your favorite restaurants on your own. Be willing to go for hikes or walks alone. Although in that case, I would always urge you to bring some form of self-defense, be it a pocket knife or pepper spray. Just, you want to be safe. I mean, I even do it myself, and obviously I'm a bit of a more fit male, and that probably would make me less of a target, but even I know it's just smart to do, so I carry a pocket knife on me. You just want to be better safe than sorry. But anyway, that was a tangent. But just be willing to do things that you enjoy on your own, because when you're able to derive your happiness from within and create it by yourself, you won't have those unhealthy kind of connections to other people where you rely on them for your happiness, where you're trying to derive it from them. So that's another very powerful tool. So at the end of the day, all these tips will help you practice self-love and basically change your life, because they've changed mine. I can tell you, it is, I'm so glad that I learned all these things and put them into practice, because they've just made my life so much better. And I hope you can kind of see how they've affected me in some way. I mean, you can't quite see how I was years ago compared to who I am now, but when you love yourself and accept yourself all with all your flaws, it is just, it truly is life-changing. I almost can't even describe it. You'll have to experience it for yourself. But it's an incredible thing, because you basically turn yourself into someone you can always rely on, a best friend that will always be there for you, because throughout your entire life, you will always be in your own company. No matter how many other people come and go, you will always be there. So if you can turn yourself into someone you can rely on, into a friend that will be there for you, it is so incredibly powerful. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and I hope you enjoyed this beautiful scenery. I've got a beautiful little creek next to me that I hope you're able to hear, and I just love being out in nature. It's an awesome thing. But anyway, yeah, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.